4 World Cup titles, some of the greatest players to ever kick a football, a footballing culture that runs deeper than almost any nation on earth. And yet, Italy will not be at the 2026 World Cup. Not just once, not just twice. Italy have now failed to qualify for their 3rd consecutive World Cup, making them the first World Cup winning nation in history to miss 3 tournaments in a row. How does one of the greatest football nations on the planet fall this far? Let's get into it. First, how did it actually end? Italy faced Bosnia and Herzegovina in a playoff final, taking the lead through Moise Kean. Then came the moment that changed everything. A red card for Alessandro Bastoni gave Bosnia hope, Haris Tankovic equalized, and the tie was pushed into extra time and then penalties. Bosnia were perfect from the spot, but Pio Esposito and Brian Cristante both missed. And just like that, Gennaro Gattuso's side were out. Italy defender Leonardo Spinazzola summed it up perfectly. We still don't believe it. It's that we're out and that it happened in this manner. It's upsetting for everyone. For us, for our families, and for all the kids who have never seen Italy at a World Cup. Let that sink in. An entire generation of Italian children who have never watched their country play at a World Cup. And now that wait extends even further. Now here's where it gets really damning, because Italy had every opportunity to qualify comfortably. They were top seeds for their qualifying group and were placed alongside Norway, Israel, Estonia, and Moldova. They won 6 of their 8 group games. On paper, that sounds fine, but they finished second, because Norway, with Holland, Odegaard, and one of the most exciting squads in Europe, simply had too much quality. And then there's the defensive numbers, which tell an ugly story. Italy conceded 13 goals from just 9.43 expected goals on target, a difference of 3.5. Only San Marino, Bulgaria, and Liechtenstein had a worse negative difference. Company you absolutely do not want to be keeping as a 4-time world champion. The goals were going in far too easily, far too regularly. And that points to something much deeper than just a bad qualifying campaign. This isn't bad luck. This is a crisis, and it has been building for years. Think about the timeline. Italy won the World Cup in 2006, then back-to-back group stage exits in 2010 and 2014. Then they failed to qualify for 2018, knocked out by North Macedonia in one of the biggest shocks in football history. Then 2022, gone again. And now 2026, 3 consecutive absences from the biggest tournament on the planet. Italy's problems are deeper than just what happens on the pitch. The issues run through the entire structure of Italian football, from the academies, to the league, to the national team setup. Serie A, once the greatest league in the world in the 1990s, has declined significantly in global relevance. The top Italian clubs are no longer consistently competing at the highest level of European football the way they once did. That means fewer Italian players being developed, tested, and hardened at elite level. And it shows when they pull on the national shirt. Former Real Madrid and England manager Fabio Capello delivered a scathing assessment after the elimination, labeling it a disgrace and demanding strict accountability from those at the top of the federation. And the fallout has been enormous. The reaction in Italy was one of national devastation. Italian newspapers were furious. Tutto Sport ran the headline via Tutti. Everyone out with calls for sweeping changes at every level. Gazzetta dello Sport and Corriere dello Sport both ran tutti a casa, everyone at home. 3 of the biggest sports newspapers in the country all saying the same thing. Burn it down and start again. And the resignations followed swiftly. FIGC President Gabriele Gravina resigned after the failure. Head coach Gennaro Gattuso was expected to follow. And in a particularly symbolic moment, General Manager Gianluigi Buffon, the legendary goalkeeper and one of Italy's greatest ever players, also announced his resignation. 3 of the most powerful figures in Italian football, all gone within days of each other. That is the scale of the crisis. So, where does Italy go from here? The honest answer is that this might actually be the moment Italian football finally forces through the reforms it has desperately needed for years. A complete rebuild of the youth development system. A new identity for the national team. New leadership at the federation. A week after the Bosnia defeat, the outgoing FIGC president released a scathing report on the state of Italian football. An admission that the problems are structural, not circumstantial, and that they require long-term solutions, not short-term fixes. The next World Cup is in 2030. Italy will have 4 years to rebuild. Whether they use those 4 years wisely or fall into the same cycle of poor decisions will define whether Italian football truly returns to where it belongs. 4 World Cup titles, a nation obsessed with football, and yet they are sitting at home for a 3rd tournament in a row, while 48 teams compete without them. Italy's fall from grace is one of the most remarkable stories in modern football, and the 2026 World Cup will be a constant reminder of just how far they have fallen. Drop a comment below. Do you think Italy can rebuild in time for 2030? And if you're new here, subscribe to World Cup Wire for daily World Cup 2026 content. See you in the next one.